everyone. I'm Matt Williamson at Williamson NFL. What is shaking? We are mailbagging it up. A lot of good questions as always. Let's just dig right in. Joseph Mascree asks, is it fair to say that the Steelers have lost that certain touch they had drafting wide receivers in the middle rounds? I don't think that's fair, to be honest with you. I mean, that implies Roman Wilson has no chance. And frankly, Calvin Austin was a mid-round pick and he's been a success story. That's not that long ago. There hasn't been tons of instances lately. Now, say what you want about the last few years under Kevin Colbert compared to the Omar years. And frankly, I had great respect for Kevin, but I am more fond with the way Omar's been doing business in today's NFL, but that's not what we asked. Now, I do think Kevin was phenomenal at finding those talents, and some of them all had a wart, though. Like Martavis Bryant. Everyone on the planet knew he was talented, much like Pickens, and he should have went higher. So I'm not going to go there. They had such an unprecedented run that it probably won't be duplicated, to your point. Like, I don't think you can just count on it. Like, they'll nail a starter in the third or fourth round next year. Don't worry about it. Like, we're so good at this. I don't think I'd look at it that way, but I also don't think like, man, it's impossible or that they're bad at it now all of a sudden. Drew Kasich asks, Matt, do you think the Steelers as presently constructed would prefer a pocket passer like Mendoza or a dual action guy like Sellers or Mateer? Wouldn't the build around be different? It's early to be thinking of the draft, but is it ever too early? It's definitely never too early. What are we talking about here? Especially when you're in the quarterback market and we're talking quarterbacks. I think I am going to watch a video here in the next hour or so of the Oregon kid. Can't wait to dig in to learn more about him. All these guys. I don't know the answer, but I think as a defensive-minded coach, Tomlin, and he has said this over different times of his career, really fears the guys that can run. And frankly, there's a level of athleticism and running ability that I think you almost just have to have in this league now. Now, I don't know enough about Mendoza other than just watching him here and there, and the people are high on him, that if he has enough. But that bar to me goes up of what the minimal is in terms of athleticism, running ability, and ability to extend plays. It goes up every year to me, of what that minimal is. And I don't think they want a guy that is just an athlete and can't throw, of course. And this is going to be a first round, potentially franchise type guy. You want all the above. But I definitely think they will lean towards, or more than break ties for, in favor of athletes, upside athletes, which is exactly where I would be at too. Because the other thing about those guys too, like Josh Allen's a perfect example, is they can rely on some of those traits their first couple of years in the league while they learn the tough quarterback stuff. It's tough just to throw a pure old school pocket passer in there and hope for the best. It's probably not going to go well, so it's a great question. I can't wait to dig into these quarterbacks more and more. I'm trying to stay on top of it the best I can, but it does look like a very intriguing class.
Football season's finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Think the Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl? Lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials, so you can join in on all the action.
Hey guys, if you're planning to see a Steelers game, use the Game Time app to get your tickets. You can snag new ticket deals before anyone, if you set it into your app alerts. The app is easy to use. No surprise fees at checkout. You can see your seat view before buying, and you're getting legit tickets delivered on time. If you're not much of a planner, you can get last-minute deals on tickets right up to the start of the event. Lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app and enter the code DK Steelers into your app profile to get $20 off your first purchase.
Nathan asked me, fans love to propose trading 4 bad players for a superstar. Yeah, right, not going to happen. But Steelers could have a couple expendable players with actual value this offseason. How far would Freiermuth and Highsmith go towards moving up in round 1 for a quarterback? I think those are 2 potential trade tickets. I don't think they have to go, and that also helps your trade value. If the whole world knows they have to go, then you're going to get less for them. Edge rushers are gold, and Highsmith is a really good one. And if he can stay healthy the rest of the year, his stock would be quite high. And I think he would be a nice piece. Instead of looking at, how they help you trade up in round 1, because frankly, you don't know where you need to get or where you're starting from. I'm guilty of this too, but a lot of people in this conversation just assume they're going to pick 20 again. Let's let season play out. Maybe they won't win another game. Maybe they won't lose another game. Who knows? But I think maybe this is a bit strong. I think Highsmith has the value of about a 2nd round pick. You know what I mean? So yeah. And there's many teams that could use Highsmith. There's a lot of teams that could use him right now, like the Niners that lost Bosa. I don't love the idea of trading either one of these guys now because I'm trying to win the Super Bowl and it looks like this is a playoff team. But I would always listen, if someone blows your doors off. Dallas just traded Parsons and they want to do something crazy and give you more than you should. Well, then you'd listen. But I do think both pieces, but especially Highsmith, would be sought after around the league, despite the money they make and despite their age. Not that either one's old, but they're not puppies either. So yeah, but I don't think either has to go. Maybe my tune will change when the offseason rolls around. But it's a great observation that they are pieces of value. You know what I mean? And it would also open up cap space and all that good stuff too. Speaking of the edge position, at Hanvey asked, Matt, how might the Steelers deploy their outside linebackers once Highsmith returns? Can Herbig play both sides? Yes, he absolutely can and thrives at both. So that's good to know. Highsmith can play both sides too. And not that happens much because Watt doesn't move. And of course, Watt can play on the right, but just doesn't prefer it. And he has been playing a snap or 2 there. But the left-right thing to me is rather inconsequential. But you're right. Or it is worth noting that Herbig can be the immediate backup at either spot. It's not a big deal. I think I brought this up before that I just think this guy's too good to keep off the field or make a, quote, backup. Now, it doesn't matter to me if he starts the first snap of every game to, quote, be a starter. But I would love, and this isn't as easy to do as you would think, but I would love to see them incorporate some sort of package with the 3 of them on the field together. Even if it's just 3rd and long. They did do some of this with Watt and Dupree and Ingram. They were all 3 high-quality players. I think this group's better. So it's not insane to ask, but someone's going to play somewhere out of position in that situation. So it's not as easy as it looks, but could you put Watt off the ball or Herbig off the ball or have them kind of be a joker moving around, whatever matchups they like? Yeah. But someone's going to be a little bit out of their comfort zone with the 3 of them on the field. I don't know exact percentages or snap counts per se, but I think I would look at it this way. Like, let's incorporate, we'll call it 5, but maybe it's 6, 7, 8 snaps per game where all 3 are out there. That didn't exist before either. So that's an opportunity for all 3 of them to get snaps. Let's take 15 snaps away from Highsmith, from where he used to be. Not as a demotion, but we want these guys to all be at their best, and less might be more. So Herbig used to, when they three of them are healthy, Herbig, I'm guessing, I should know this off the top of my head, but let's say he usually played 20 to 25 snaps when everybody's healthy. Well, let's take 10 away from Highsmith, give them directly to Herbig, which gets him to 30, 35 and brings Highsmith down to 50 or whatever. And I might even take 8 to 10 away from Watt. I definitely take some, but I mean, the number that I threw out there of 8 to 10 isn't a little bit. I mean, he's not young. You would think that you'll get better reps out of him if he stays a little fresher, of course. You would think he's going to be a better player in January if you do that consistently throughout the year. And again, I just don't know how you possibly can keep Herbig in a part-time or backup role. He's too good. I mean, he's just too good to do that. And I'll be honest, if they come out of the bye and Herbig is the starter and plays more than Highsmith, I would understand. I really would. I like all of them, but Herbig's really dynamic. My man Joey Bag of Donuts asks, is at this point, Ramon Wilson has to be considered a bust, right? I see where you're going. Seems a little extreme to me, Joey. I mean, considering he didn't play at all. Well, we know the story. They don't play many 3 receiver sets. I don't know even that if Austin misses time, that Wilson will be the direct replacement. I tend to think it'll be Scotty Miller. At least game day in Dublin showed us that Miller was probably that guy because he kind of just filled in on almost a 1-for-1 basis. Now that's a game day break in case of emergency. It's not 2 weeks of planning this thing out. I have not gotten word in the last couple weeks, but I will say people I trust have told me that the organization, as of a couple weeks ago, I don't think it's changed, are very high on Wilson, and that Rodgers likes him a lot, and the organization as a whole is quite high on him. So I don't want to go there yet. And bust is kind of a big word. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that anyone thinks he stinks and shouldn't be in the league. And, you know, I mean, he wouldn't be the first 3rd round pick to just be a 3 or 4 receiver his whole career. I tend to think he'll be more of a 3 or a 2, but I would like to see more. I mean, I don't know how you could possibly dispute that. You know, it's just there's so few snaps to go around. And if Calvin Anderson's going to start playing 10 and Washington's going to start playing 50 again, you know, I mean, like, how do these guys get on the field? But I do think this injury to Austin might tell us a lot more, and I'm very interested. All right, Bruce asks, the offensive tackles are playing a lot better, but interior pressure are still a concern. Sure, Isaac was held on 1 sack, but it seems like that's our current weak spot in the line. Do you think part of using the jumbo package is to get Anderson up to game speed for a break glass option? 6 offensive linemen, something they've done over the last 5 years, a fair amount. So this isn't new. I know it's not what you asked. I do think Anderson will, assuming Siamalu leaves after the season, which I think he probably will, unless he comes back at a very veteran deal. You know, there was not a lot of interest out there. He comes back and you give him a good deal. That could happen. But I think Anderson, at a minimum, will be in the mix for that starting job at left guard. And I think they like him quite a bit, and I understand why. Maybe it's Anderson and a 3rd round pick battling it out for the guard spot. You know, I mean, I could definitely see a camp scenario like that with Isaac in Houston or whatever, you know. I don't think they're considering benching Siamalu, and I don't think he's a massive liability. And I'll fight you a little that tackles are, I mean, and this isn't how you worded it, you know, Bruce, but tackles are fine, interior stinks. I mean, I kind of think protection as a whole is a big concern to them right now. I mean, we could blame or, you know, Rodgers for Ball's coming out in 2.1. Ball never goes past 10 yards. I think it all just derives from they don't trust the protection overall right now. So I see where you're going with this. I think that they are very high on Anderson in terms of a potential starter. Certainly would be first guy off the bench at either guard spot. And don't forget that he has some center background. And early in his career, more at camp and preseason, he played some right tackle, which I just throw out there, not because I think he'd be in the mix if either tackle got hurt. I think he's just an interior guy now. He's settled in there, particularly just a guard. But the fact that he is the extra offensive lineman, 9 out of 10 times when teams put an extra offensive lineman on the field, it's a tackle. It's not a guard. It's somebody that is used to having one of his shoulders basically open, And so I just bring that up because Anderson does have a little bit of right tackle experience in a Steeler uniform. So he's done a little bit of that. Maybe he's a little more comfortable in terms of dealing with someone coming off his edge without a big person to his right. Although there is a very big person in the form of a tight end named Mount Washington who's often to his right as well. But it's still a lot different than just flat out playing guard right next to a center, blocking angles, all that kind of stuff too. So I know we didn't get to a ton of questions, but I do think we went into them pretty deep today. I would bet we have another mailbag sooner than later. It's going to be a weird week in terms of bye weeks discussions, or if you guys just have an idea for an entire podcast on its own, I'm all ears. You know how to get a hold of me at Williamson NFL. Over and out.